Alright, so now we're talking about the surface area of a solid, which is the area of all the faces, and using a net drawing to help us do that. And the net drawing is basically if you took a three-dimensional figure such as a solid and flattened it, that would be a net drawing. So over here we've got the net for that particular solid, the rectangular prism. Okay, so if we look at this, we've got one rectangle here highlighted in green, which is the same as that one. So if we found the area of that particular solid, we've got area equals length times width, which would be 1 times, this is going to be 6 here because it's 6 down here. So 1 times 6, which is 6, and that's 6 meters squared. So the area in here is 6 meters squared, and the area in here is 6 meters squared. And if we look at this, what I got in red, there's a rectangle there and the same rectangle over there. So if we were to find the area of that particular rectangle, again we're doing length times width, and this time we're going to have 2 times 6, which is 12 meters squared. So in here is 12 meters squared, and there's 12 meters squared. Now it leaves us with 2 little rectangles here, so I'm putting those in brown. There and there. So the area of those brown ones, length times width, that would be 2 times 1, which is 2 meters squared. So this is going to be 2 meters squared in there and 2 meters squared in there. So now we found the area of each individual side. Now we're going to add them all together, put them all together. So we got 2 plus 2. We've got 6 plus 6, and we also have 12 plus 12. So the surface area equals all of that, and when you add all that together, we're getting 40 meters squared. Alright, so now we're going to find the surface area of this particular solid, which is a triangular prism. And we've got the net drawing provided for us to help us, so we're going to find the area of each face and then add it all together to get a total. So if we look over here, we've got this rectangle here in red. So if we were to find the area of that particular rectangle, length times width, and this is going to be 15 meters. So that's 15 times 3, which is 45 meters squared. So this is 45 meters squared in that area. Now if we look at this particular rectangle here in brown, find the area of that rectangle. Again, length times width. So we have 15 times 5, which gives us 75 meters squared. So in here we've got 75 meters squared. Looking at this rectangle in orange, if we were to find the area of that one, length times width again, and now we've got 15 times 4, which is 60 meters squared. So this is 60 meters squared in there. Now we've got triangles. Here's one triangle here in blue. Happens to be the same as the other one, so if we were to find the area of the triangle, that's 1/2 base times height, and 1/2, the base is 3, the height is 4. If we were to multiply that together, 1/2 times 12 would give us 6, so that's 6 meters squared. So we have 6 meters squared in there and in there. So what we're going to do now is grade the grand total and add these all together. So we've got 45 plus 75 plus 60 plus 6 plus 6, and we add all those together. We get 192. That's going to be meters squared. Alright, so now we're going to look at this particular figure, this solid, and it's a prism. And we name prisms by the shape of their bases, and the bases are parallel surfaces. So in this case, we've got the base being the form of a trapezoid. So this is a trapezoidal prism. So we've got that in the front, and we also have one just like it in the back there. So if we were to find the area of the trapezoid, it's 1/2 times the height times the sum of the bases. And that trapezoid, if we draw this, we've got, I'm just going to draw each face and find the area of that, where this is 6, this is going to be 3, this is 4, that's 5. So if we plug in what we know, we've got 1/2 times 4 times 3 plus 6. That gets us 2 times 9, which gives us 18 inches squared. And we have 2 of those. So that's going to be times 2. So I'm going to draw another one here. So we got this face and this one, 3, 4, 6. Where the area is 18 in there, and this one's also 18. We have the area of this rectangular face, lateral face over there, so we got the area of the green rectangle, which is going to be 6 times 4, which gives us 24 inches squared. So we've got 6 by 4, and we've got 24 as one of them. We also have the bottom one here in orange. So if we find the area of that particular rectangle, we've got length times width, which is 4 times 4, which gives us 16 inches squared. So we've got one that's 4 by 4, and that's 16. We have this particular rectangular face in blue here. So if we were to find the area of that one, again, that's length times width, so that's 3 times 4, and that gives us 12 inches squared. So we've got another surface, or I'm sorry, another lateral surface that's 4 by 3, and that gives us 12. And there's one last surface here in brown, this particular rectangular lateral face. So if we find the area of that one, again, length times width, and that's going to be 5 times 4, which gives us 20 inches squared. So 5 times 4, which is 20. So now that we've found the area of all the individual ones, just have to take them and add them all up and get a grand total. We've got 2 that are 18. We've got one that's 24, one that is 16, one that is 12, and one that is 20. So if we add all those together, get a grand total, we get 108 inches squared.